Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Expanse reaction. This is Road Live, and my name is Matt. Last time we had The Monster and the Rocket. Was that the name of the episode? I think it was. I actually don't want to be bothered to go back and check, but I think that was the one. And that was the... I'm not sure if these two aired together. Somebody told me which episodes aired together, but I forgot. But that was the penultimate episode for this season, and now we're watching the final episode of this season, season 2. And what happened in it? So, a couple of characters decided to go full dark side for like a second. Holden eventually came around and decided, you know what, I'm actually gonna help out Naomi and Amos and all those people to actually survive. So that happened like right at the ending, but he was like super vengeful and so hell-bent in destroying the Caliban that they were chasing. While actually like Alex was like, dude, this is very bad for us. This is very dangerous. And he's like, I don't care. And Prax was like, that could be my daughter. We don't understand what that is. And he's also like, I don't care, plain guy. So that happened on that side of the story. On the other side of the story, Christian, as well as Gunny and Kotiar, that's his name, they went and met up with Jules Pierre Mao, who actually did set up like a meeting and stuff. But while the meeting was happening, when they were just discussing what are we going to do, Jules Pierre Mao got a message from Aaron Wright, and he left a message for him as well as for Christian, essentially. And essentially said, okay, so I had assassinated the Martian dude who you were working with, so you have no more allies now. So if you want anything, you're gonna have to come to me now. So I'm your only friend left. And if you come back to me, which you have to because I'm pointing a gun at you, and I'm just gonna destroy that ship and I don't give a shit, what you need to understand is that I'm gonna be the one in charge. Like I'm gonna be the one running the whole operation. Because before that, he was essentially just like supplying him with resources so he could do whatever. Now he's like, no, you're gonna work for me. You're gonna do all this great shit that you're doing for Earth, for me specifically. And then he gave a message to Christian, which I have to say, I personally didn't actually realize how personal that message was the first time I saw it. And then while I was editing the episode, I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty personal. And it's the fact that he went to Christian and went like, you taught me Earth always must come first. But then you're also just like groveling at Jupiter Mao's feet and Mars and whatever the shit you're doing, leaving me alone, left to die here. Because I'm going to be the one that's going to eat up this whole thing. And you're not even going to help me out. So, fuck you. And then somebody pointed out to me on Patreon. And it's something that I heard. I didn't process what it meant. And it's that I think Aaron Wright said, you're going to come back here alone. He said that to Jupiter Mao. Which means that Christian's not coming with them, right? Which makes more sense. Wait, they were all just pointing guns at each other at one time, but at the same time, nobody shot anyone. So, I don't know. I feel like that party's not gonna fully die. Somebody's gonna to survive at least, maybe all of them, and they're just gonna go around because, like, okay, so if Aaron Wright hates Christian and Kotiar and he hates Christian, but Kotiar and Gunny are part of their party, I guess. So they might have to go somewhere else. They could meet up with, I don't know, with Fred Johnson. They could meet up with the Rosie crew. They could meet up with so many people. My bet would be on Fred Johnson because Christian had already been in contact with Fred Johnson, kinda. But that would be a difficult thing for just Abbasarala to just show up and the belts being like, hey, what's up, man? And that would be really awkward now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen there. But yeah, on the Naomi Amos front, they got a bunch of people to escape on the Somnambulist. Not a lot of people, actually, just like half of them, like 51 people. And yeah, bunch of kids, bunch of women and young men, and that's the air they have to survive in order to get to the next like station or whatever. And then they were about to get destroyed by the Martian fleet because there's a no-flight restriction thing going on. And then the Rosie stepped in and saved them. And at the very end, they were like, all right, we're going to score this ship. And you know the Rosie is like super capable of just destroying everything. So you don't want to fight us, and we don't want to fight you, so just leave us the fuck alone. And that worked. But at the very end of the episode, like the last like 5 seconds, the Rosie's flying next to the Somnambulist, and you see the Rosie, and the Rosie has a giant hole in the back, and there is some blue shit inside of it, and it is the Caliban. The Caliban is just inside the Rosie now. So, yeah, this episode is gonna be interesting because I talk about it in the previous episode, like discussion. I was like, how are they gonna get out of this? So I'm thinking two things. One, the Caliban is actually May, and it's gonna like tap into its like consciousness to some degree and remember Prax when he sees him and is gonna not kill him, or they're gonna like mind trickery it in some way. Like they're gonna come up with a plan in order to space it, just take it out into space. And I said that maybe Holden's gonna be the one that is gonna trap it in a room, and he's gonna sacrifice himself to like take it to space, because Holden is in the intro floating alone through space, and I picked up on that a couple episodes ago, and I was like, because I never really pay attention to the intro. Sometimes I do, and I'm like, that would be interesting. Like the planets aligning, and there's protomolecule bursting out. It looks like out of a planet, so all that stuff. And I'm thinking like, maybe that means something. Maybe it doesn't, but it could. So that are sort of the two things that I thought about. The other possibility is that the Caliban is not actually like evil. Like it's not actually. Well, I don't think it's evil. I think it's just like an animal. Like it just has no concept of what the fuck is happening. It just kills everything because it's capable of doing so. But maybe it's not. Maybe it actually is a conscious person, and maybe it is May or whatever, and it's just like, please help me. That could be a possibility too. We don't know. But anyway, we'll see how this plays out. Because realistically though, that Caliban is a end boss monster. It's a boss fight, and this party is not prepared to fight it, because it did take out like 11-12 people all at once, and they were like all highly equipped, highly trained soldiers from both sides that didn't do shit. So these 3 guys, one of them being James Holden, who is more or less capable, Alex, who's kind of a jumpy guy, but he has like some military background, I suppose, and plant guy Prax, who just doesn't know how to wield a fucking gun. It's like, I don't see how this party can take out this guy. They could, with some clever thinking, but there is a power mismatch here. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited to start this episode, final episode in the season, so some shit might go down. So yeah, let's go and watch it. So, The Expanse Season 2, Episode 13, finale. Let's go. Okay.
You're shot.
What?
Oh yeah, I was about to say, how did they miss the first shot? Oh, they're back on the Rosie too. Whoa, shit. Okay.
If Alex hadn't talked me off the ledge, we would have been too late.
Yeah, Alex is the MVP.
This does not sound like the man I walked away from on Ganymede.
I understand why you did.
It's nice to have you back.
Okay, good. Thank Alex after this.
Some apples are heading for, and looks like they're gonna be doing a little braking maneuver so that 2 of them will link up a bit sooner. So some Nabbles are gonna get there with air to spare.
Okay, nice.
You want a hell of a pilot.
But that is a hell of a lot of shrapnel damage.
That's not shrapnel damage. That's... Oh, there we go.
Hold it! It's in the cargo bay!
This time we don't have a choice.
Yeah, this time we
have to kill it.
This time we do have to have the boss fight.
We don't have to go into this blind. The data core's starting to decrypt. Let's just take some time, try and figure out what we're actually dealing with here. It's not doing anything dangerous.
And we're not gonna give it a chance to.
thing is a living weapon. It's a killing machine.
It's not a machine.
It's not human.
It clearly was once.
Not anymore.
I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna talk to
No,
him.
you're not. We're gonna shoot it, and we're gonna keep on shooting it. And if that doesn't kill it, we're gonna force it out the way it came in.
Is there a plan B?
Yeah, make sure Plan A works.
That's not a plan B. We're going in just like that. Like, it's not doing anything. It might fuck some of your, like, suit, and then you're not gonna have any air.
Set up a crossfire and force it out the hole in the door.
It's gonna do nothing to it. It could take a 1B12. Figure something out, fail safe regulator.
It has some kind of tech implanted in its.
Oh, is it like a bomb? Oh, it took it out. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
It was an actual bomb. Oh, no, this is not gonna do nothing. Oh, it's gonna throw something at you. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Holden, Amos, what the hell is going on?
They fitted to the wall of the cargo container.
I hear air leaking out. Oh, it has oh, it regenerates. It regenerates. Oh, boy. It's screaming a lot. Like, it might have crushed its leg or something.
Amos, you're losing air.
Oh, Amos is doing this again.
Now. Get out of here. You're no good to anyone dead.
So I'm thinking this was a bad idea, actually. He's gonna go and grab the gun.
Maybe it no longer considers you a threat.
Could be. What is it doing?
Dumb animal.
Yeah.
The device it tore out of its chest was a failsafe regulator, some
Yeah.
kind of command and control module.
Control module, my ass. That was an incendiary device. You understand? A bomb probably designed to destroy that thing in case it got out of control.
But it's able to understand what it is and took it out.
Shit! The proto molecule feeds on radiation.
Oh no.
That thing's trying to get to the reactor.
Oh.
And it punctures the chamber.
We're more or less fucked.
Yeah. I feel like we need to blow up, like, the entire room and space it somehow.
I'm not leaving you two.
Your power armor is in this gift.
Why would you bring it?
Because we knew this shit might hit the fan.
Get it. Come save her ass.
Oh, fuck yeah, let's go. The broken power armor that clearly has not been repaired, because why would it have been?
We better do something quick, because Captain's leg is crushed.
Well, I don't need to run a marathon.
No, but you crush enough muscle and it starts leaking potassium into your blood. Your suit can only filter out so much of that, then your heart stops.
Okay.
You know a lot about how people die.
Yeah, I've been there.
I did a tour on a prospector ship outside of Palace Station.
Mm.
We had a ton of shitty equipment. One time, we were on a run, and this guy's O2 regulator valve got stuck open. The pressure in his suit went way up, and he started losing air out of his relief valve. He got scared that he wasn't going to run out of air before we made it back to his ship, so he welded the valve shut.
But that would eventually
Gassed
take...
his suit like a balloon, and it popped him out like a missile. The Rossi's built for what, 20, 30 people? Yeah. Well,
Okay.
since it's just us, we have air to spare. So we seal off engineering,
Okay.
the reactor deck, and the machine shop. We overpressurize them all. We pop the hatch to the cargo bay. It'll blow that big door right off, along with that thing.
Holden's pinned down. That kind of pressure change will rip him apart.
Maybe not.
You gotta do it.
No! I'm gonna find another way.
Okay.
There it is.
Back to Venus. It's been like 2 episodes.
This is where you say we have to descend so we can get close for our sensors to get meaningful readings.
And then you point out that we'd be at the edge of what our ship is rated for, and that our Martian shadow is probably going to shoot at us.
This is all true. They still got to know each other. They were at each other's throats, and eventually, after enough bullshit, they were like, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. We'll die together. I don't care.
You said that you needed to do something, and I didn't listen. I made you put me down. It couldn't have been easy for you. It's just that I've been trying to make choices on my own lately, and I can't seem to make the right ones.
No
That's-
one's always right.
Yeah, that's okay. People make mistakes.
Do not blow the hatch until I tell you to.
Okay. Oh. That's clever. I mean, it's not floating in your direction, but...
It's heading back for Holden.
Turn it back on. Whoa, shit.
Powering up?
Yeah. Please go back to the engine. What if we just, like, turn it on and off again? Just the entire time without work? It wouldn't. It would just get upset and kill everyone, but... How are you gonna survive this? I feel like this group of people has been building up enough just to die. Just to die and for me to feel something about it. But not enough to, like, mean anything.
What the hell was that?
Did the Martians... Oh, she is gonna take them out.
Shit.
Oh. Oops. I literally cannot believe that worked. That it was like, hey, go back to him. Nice. I cannot believe that asshole was just so smoked to be like, oops, and then got beaten anyway. He had a gun and he was pointing it at you, and somehow plants. What are you?
I need to talk to you,
We'll
please.
talk after.
No, now. I've been on the other side of this conversation. And if the next few minutes is all we get, we should take it.
Okay.
This is my time. Don't be an idiot like I was. Don't go looking for revenge.
Alright.
If I die here, let me go. Find someplace safe to ride all this out.
Are you saying you regret it? Everything we've done since the Canterbury?
No. Yes, but only because I don't get to spend more time with you.
We're not right.
We are.
We're not. So unless you can see how to get you out safe and get that thing off our ship, don't talk to me.
This is hard focusing on, no, we're gonna stop this. We're gonna fix this. If he can free himself somehow, I'm not sure how, dive into space through that hole, he can survive the explosion, right?
Leave the Undersecretary, and you can go.
Say that again?
We have Mao's little racing ship and another shuttle dock. Hand over Avasarella for us to keep safe. You and the Martian can take it and go.
Tell him you need assurance of my safety.
I take the Martian, and you let us walk out.
Look, we both know how this goes. Important, powerful people start fighting each other. It's people like us that die. I got nothing against you. You got nothing against me. I need to keep control of the Undersecretary, not you.
Don't come any closer. If I take my thumb off this button, it'll put the airlock in full lockdown. You'll never get out of here. If you kill me, you're trapped.
We're doing this wrong.
He figured something out with the plants.
It's a nutrient gradient.
What?
What?
Plant guy is gonna save us.
Naomi said that the creature gets energy from radiation, right?
Yeah, sure. It sucks radiation the way a tick sucks blood. First time we found the protomolecule, it was wrapped around a reactor core, so what?
It's following a nutrient gradient, like leaves growing toward light or roots toward water.
Cracks, we are running out of time.
If we give it a better food source that's easier to reach, we won't have to force it out. We lure it out. This ship has torpedoes armed with nuclear warheads, doesn't it?
We gotta nuke space! And then it will dive outside to feed on that.
Yeah.
Yeah! Oh, plant guy. Plant guys fucking saved our asses.
As soon as you do.
There's nothing to keep you from beating me to death.
Mm-hmm.
What about that too?
So where do we go from here?
The mind game.
Ask yourself, is he worth it? The man you serve here. Does he deserve your sacrifice?
Try to play this card.
If I let you in, you'll let me go?
You have my word.
Do you think that you could throw me in one of those cargo lockers, maybe rough me up a little, just so they don't think, you know?
We'll carry it out onto the hull until we get close to the cargo bay. And then I'll pull the shielding and you'll throw it out away from the ship. And hopefully, if you're right, that creature will go after it.
I thought patching up a bullet wound was gonna be the strangest thing I did today. I keep thinking I'll tell May about this when I get home.
But there's a home and there might not be May.
Soybeans. She pretends to care. Pretended.
If this plan doesn't work,
I'll blow the hatch. There's no way this ends with that thing inside this ship.
thank you.
In case I have to kill you, I just wanted to say thanks. You made some pretty stupid choices since you've been in charge, but you're always trying to do the right thing. So
This is true.
that came out bad.
No, it's...
I mean,
it's...
you were always trying to be a good man. Not everybody does, thank you.
Alright, that's better, but it's still...
It's not having to worry about being on the right team.
If you're going to sell me out, I understand. It's the rational choice. But you have to stop Ehrenreich before he can use the proto-molecule to wage the war he's always wanted. You owe me that.
I don't owe you anything.
My son...
Yes, your son. I failed my job.
Sharon and Paul died.
I owe him, not you. Paying him back by keeping his mother safe.
Okay.
This is Christian Avasarala. Hold your fire. I'm coming out.
Clean up the mess.
Yes, sir.
Well then. We turn it off again. So how intelligent is it to be tricked by that, though?
It's headed your way.
Okay, yeah. We don't need to blow it up. We're just gonna have to chuck the core into space and it's gonna follow that, maybe. Brax is the one out here, so if it's May, you might recognize him. May recognize it.
No! Tex!
No.
What are you waiting for?
He's trying... He wants to see if it's actually May.
Do it! Tex! It's not me!
Firing up the barbecue.
Oh! This is what we're doing then. This is a cool ass shot. We're just gonna burn it. Oh, disintegration! I saw it! It got disintegrated. You're gonna vanish too, I think. Oh. Oh boy, alright. You're all part of it now.
Stripped it right down to its nuclei.
Oh,
Dude, come on.
You guys really saved my ass.
Actually,
Blind guy's idea.
this is one steely-eyed man of science, our plant guy.
Fuck you, blind guy.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're okay.
Glad I didn't have to kill you, brother.
Me too.
God damn it, stop doing that! He did it on purpose.
I have something I need to say to you.
How bad could it be?
Is it the fact that the brown molecule that she left behind?
Whatever it is, we'll be alright.
I don't ever remember a time when Earth, Mars, and the Belt weren't fighting.
There we go.
Sides change sometimes.
She has a power suit, like, there's nothing you can do.
Just seems we can't ever stop fighting war after war after war. Technology certainly hasn't changed it. Guns, railguns, nuclear bombs. No weapon ever brings peace.
Oh, you're suspended.
No one knows what the proto-molecule wants or what it's doing.
Okay.
They are using it anyway.
I see them floating in there. They weren't disintegrated.
It's part of the equation now.
These two are like, what the fuck?
And it will be from now on.
Are you gonna get ripped apart too? That's what I'm wondering.
Earth has it. Mars has it. And the Belt needs it too. I didn't destroy our sample.
There we go. Who's this?
I was sure we were all going to die there. And that our sample would be lost.
So you told the Somnambulist people?
What did you do?
I gave the proto-molecule to Fred.
Okay. That's Fred. Well then, this next season's gonna be interesting, won't it? That was May, I think. So she hasn't been converted yet, but she will. Alongside everyone in this fucking room. Fucking Dr. Strickland. And he's just whistling? What a fucking psycho. Yep. Just everyone being started around here. Everyone's gonna be turned into a batch of super soldiers. Is there more? Yeah, it's just credits. Okay, we're good. Okay, that's another season down. Okay, so let's go over what happened this episode real quick. So, at the very beginning, we had this question of like, what's gonna happen? What are we gonna do? With this fucking thing that just sneak its way into the Rosie. And first of all, I wasn't expecting Naomi and Amos to come back to the Rosie, but they did, and I'm glad about that. I'm glad that they just reunited, because it seems like to me it seemed like they were gonna split off just like permanently, but they didn't. They just came back right back. It was just like one episode where they did their own thing, and now we're back here. Sure. So as soon as they get back, Naomi and Holden do have this conversation of like, Holden is like, all right, I'm sorry, I kind of fucked up there, and I almost let you die because I was so fucking hell-bent on destroying this one thing, and Alex knocked some sense into me. He told me off the ledge, so fucking kudos to Alex for being like the best guy ever, which I've been saying since forever. And Naomi is like, I'm glad to have you back. You know, I'm glad to have that James Holden back, not the crazy, we're just gonna kill everything Holden. So we have that conversation, but then we discover that the Caliban is inside the Rosie. They go like, what the fuck? So then it's like, okay, what do we do? Fucking Prax is still like, I'm gonna go in there and talk to it. Everyone else is like, no, you're not. No, you're not. We're going in there and we're gonna kill it. So, okay, so their plan of action was essentially like, okay, we're going in there before it's too late. We're just gonna shoot it. We're just gonna kill it. And if that doesn't kill it, we're gonna try to like space it somehow, which is what I said, because fuck it, right? They said, hey, Alex is just gonna do some maneuvering, just gonna throw him into a hole or whatever, and there you go. The problem is that that thing is way more capable than they were aware of. Even when they shot it, and even if they were like, we heard it, it regenerated. I saw it regenerate, like Wolverine regenerate, like Captain Jack Harkness regenerate, like it just regenerated, like the hole just closed again. So I'm not sure if you can actually kill it through any conventional means, though disintegration seems to work, because to be fair, disintegration works for pretty much anyone, save like, I don't know, Dr. Manhattan. Like everyone else, disintegration's pretty good. As long as you get rid of everything, disintegration works. We see it with Cell, we saw it with Majin Buu. That seems to be the case. Disintegration works. Thing is, it's not easy to disintegrate something, right? So, okay, so Holden and I'm getting ahead of myself. So Holden and Amos go in there and they decide, all right, we're just gonna take it out. So they start shooting at it. They like observe it a little bit, and then they just start shooting at it, and did nothing. So then it just grabbed like a cargo box or something, and it just throw it at them, and that did way more damage than I thought it was gonna. So because like, I guess it just has like super strength, right? I'm pretty sure it has some degree of like super strength, so yeah, it would hurt in that case. But I'm like, well, because space doesn't necessarily decrease the force in which you throw something. In fact, it stays consistent. But the ship was flying, so I guess it was like Earth gravity to some degree, because the ship was flying and the engines were. I'm trying to work out the physics there, but whatever. The point is that he just threw a cargo box to Holden, and it crushed his leg just straight up. He was just screaming, so I was like, alright, he's injured. And he was also locked in there. He couldn't move. So, alright, Holden was the entire episode just locked into one spot. Then, so Amos also got damaged in his suit, not damaged in the person, but his suit was losing air, so he was trying to free Holden it out, and Holden was like, Amos, you gotta get out of here because you're gonna die. You're losing air. Fuck it, leave me alone. Leave me here. I'm just go. Amos is Amos, so Amos is like, alright, like, he's right, so I'm just gonna go then. So he just left. So, by the way, I have to say I'm glad we have a person like Amos on the team, because I'm glad we have someone that is willing to just press the kill switch, because like I feel like we I feel like Naomi wouldn't be able to do it. Alex, I also feel like might not be able to do it, but I'm not sure. Like, okay, if in the situation like this where holding is locked and it's like we gotta get rid of this fucking thing and there's no good options unless Plan Guy comes in clutch, we're gonna talk about later. But like, if there's just one thing to do or die, and that one thing to do is kill Holden, just kill one of the group members and just blow up all that thing, it's like someone has to be the one that presses a switch. And Amos is pretty much the only person capable of pressing that switch. Because, like, Prax is, like, such a quiet, just, like, peaceful guy that I'm not sure if he would be able to. Like, maybe he would because he doesn't have that much attachment to any of these people. But at the same time, that is asking a simple man to just murder someone. I know, I understand the greater good, but also that is kind of a fucking thing to do. Naomi was just, we're not killing you. Just straight up, we're not. And Alex is too much of a nice guy that I'm just like, I'm not sure if he would be able to. Maybe he would, but I'm not sure if he would be able to. We're lucky to have someone like Amos that is just like, no, we have to. Dead. Just like, it's not that he doesn't care. It's that he's just, his brain is just like, no, that's the best thing to do right now. And I understand that it's kind of a fucked up thing to do, but we have to do it, so I'm gonna do it. There we go. So I'm glad we have someone like Amos in there who is the person that would be able to just leave you behind in order to save the day, in order to save everyone else. Because everyone else is like too emotional to maybe do it. And the thing is that in a different show, being emotional and doing the right thing usually works out for you because there's some kind of like force embedded in the universe that will say, no, you're a good guy, so everything's gonna work out for you. In this show is kind of like, no, this show is fucked. So I feel like we do need someone that is just like, no, I'm not doing this because, yeah, it's kind of not the best possible option we could do. Yeah, you're gonna die, but yeah, what are you gonna do, you know? Sometimes you hit the churn. So I'm glad we have someone like Amos in that regard, because I feel like this is the best example of a situation like that we've had, where it's like someone has to press the kill switch. No one else can do it. This guy will do it because he's like, we have to. Like, we legitimately have to, or we're all gonna die to this fucking monster, so fuck it, you know? So, yeah, okay. So, Holding gets locked in there to come up with this plan of like, we're gonna... I don't remember exactly what the plan was, but it's like, we're gonna use all the spare oxygen we have because the Rose is a ship for like 20, 30 people, so we have a lot of spare oxygen. So we're gonna use that, we're gonna compress it, and then we're just gonna use it as like an explosion. And that should either kill it or get rid of it or whatever. Or like push it into space or something. I don't exactly remember how the plan went. It doesn't matter. They didn't even execute it. But Holden would die in the explosion. Like, there's zero chance he would have survived. And I was thinking, like, maybe he would be able to free himself up and then dive into space, and that way he could get away from the explosion that was about to happen in that room. But no, that's not what happened. Instead, fucking Plan Guy over here, Prax, he came up with like the best plan ever. So he just walked past a couple plans when he was gonna go help out Amos, and he just saw the plans and he had an epiphany moment, and he's like, wait a second. So he realized that this proto-molecule monster thing is after something. Yeah, well, they said it. It's after the reactor engines, right? It's after, because that is nuclear. So the fact that it's using that nuclear energy means that it's just going to go after it, and it's going to try and contaminate all about it and feed on it. Because we saw the proto-molecule actually feeding on the reactor of that ship we saw last season. What was the name of that ship? Was it the Anubis? I think it was the Anubis. So we saw the proto-molecule feed on that. So they were like, okay, so it feeds on nuclear energy. So it's going after engines because that's what we use. We use a nuclear reactor. So, all right, fuck it. It's going after that. But then Prax has this epiphany moment of like, it's going after that because it requires this energy. But what if we gave it a better source to feed on? And like Alex wasn't following at all, but then Prax is like, listen, we do have nukes on the ship, right? We do have nuke missiles, torpedoes that we can use. And then Alex is like, yeah, we do. So then they pull apart a torpedo that they have as a nuke. And they pull out the reactor. The reactor alone, we don't have to do anything with it. The reactor alone is just nuclear enough that they can just like say like, all right, we just have this. And just having it will mean that the Proto-Molecule, the Caliban, is just gonna be like, oh, I want that. So they shut off the engines and they just walk outside and lock to the ship. And they were carrying this reactor in there. Prax was with Naomi, and the Caliban is just like, oh, new source of energy, locked in, engaged, and then it just went out and went after it and tried to grab it. So the intelligence on this creature is questionable because it seems like it's Brax said like it doesn't have like animalistic like intelligence, but I do think I think it actually does, because like, so the first thing it did is that it took out the thing off of his chest that was this like failsafe that was just gonna blow up. So it managed to take itself out. By the way, that selfless didn't work for shit because it freed itself from its bounds. It killed everyone at the lab, then escaped into space, and it was taken off a ride on a ship, and it didn't trigger. So what the fuck is the trigger to that fucking failsafe? I guess we could say it triggers when like the scientists like throw a command on a computer, just like trigger it, and then it blows up. But the scientist should be able to realize that he would be able to just kill you instantly without you having a chance to trigger the failsafe. So that is a bad failsafe. That is not a failsafe. That is just a bomb, and it's not very useful. Because also, like, they know its capabilities, so they know it's able to just store it out and just chuck it away, and it's fine. And that's what it did. But yeah, Prax was like, it's intelligent because it was able to do that. And I'm not doubting Prax saying that. Like, I'm not doubting, because that is essentially might as well be the fucking book telling me, the writer telling me, it's intelligent, right? Wow, that is a loud fucking honk. So by shutting off the engines and pulling the reactor of that nuke, the core, I guess, out of it while that was off, the Caliban was just like, oh, new energy source. So lock in, I'm just gonna go after it. So it just went out of the hole and it just started climbing around the ship, just like, oh, all right, there it is. So Brax had this moment of like, I'm holding it and the thing is coming at me and they almost throw it. And Prax is like, he's not throwing it. He's just frozen looking at it. Because Prax is still under the illusion that might be May. And I was like, it could be. Thing is, it's not. We got revealed at the end of the episode that it's actually not. It's just supposed, like I said previous episode, the moment that Prax was like, that might be May, I was like, okay, now the chances are even lower than they were before. Like, before I was kind of on board, now I'm like, I'm not sure. And now it is actually, like, now they actually tell us, no, it's not. But anyway, so he's just like, it might be May. It might be looking at me, I might be able to talk to her, whatever. But everyone's just yelling, throw it, dog, just like, do it. And he just did it. He threw it away just as he was about to get it, and then he jumped and tried to get it, and eventually he did get it. It grabbed it while in floating, and then Alex just like turned the ship, just like fucking engaged, locked on the thrusters on it, and just fucking blasted those and the fucking blasted the propulsion on the Caliban, and we saw very detailed how it got disintegrated, by the way. I like that so much. I'm actually gonna look at that again because I feel like that was the best looking shot in that entire episode. It was so fucking good. It was so shiny. I like it. I'm gonna look at it again. So it just blasts the thrusters while it's just floating and holding the nuclear thing. I thought we were gonna detonate it, but I guess that doesn't detonate if it's not part of the bomb. Well, maybe it could, but then as it's holding it, and then the thrusters go in, and then it just gets disintegrated. Like you can see how its face disintegrates as we zoom into it. So yeah, nothing left. It's just gone. I like that. I like that we did that. That was really good. So yeah, I think that's a good way of solving it. I was like, we have to kill it somehow. I'm not sure how, or we gotta space it, or we gotta do some clever maneuvering in some way to defeat it. And they did. They actually, this was an encounter that was also a puzzle. Like we figure out, okay, it's going after this energy source because of this. If we take out that energy source, but we give it another one, and we can control where it is, we can toss it away, and then we're just gonna turn the ship around and just disintegrate it with the thrusters. That should work, and it did. Fucking good job, Rosie Crew. Good job, fucking Prax. Good job, Prax, for figuring that shit out. So Prax was the one that essentially, I'm not sure if he came up with the thrusters plan. Maybe they did say. I wasn't paying that much attention. Sorry, I'm like that. But he did came up with like we just have to throw like an energy core from like one of our torpedo missiles nuclear that we have. Just fucking throw it away, and it will go after that. And it's like that's fucking brilliant. I think my plan was good too, but like reality of my plan is that Holden couldn't get out. Holden was just locked in there. So, but I thought that like what they could have done is like get inside the room, free Holden with like a new suit that is not losing air, get Holden out, just like go and just help Holden get out, because like the Caliban is not actually like, well, it could have been. So I was gonna say it's ignoring them, but it might not have been. It was just ignoring Holden because he was pinned down, so it was no longer a threat. So maybe it could have like fought like Amos or Naomi, whoever came in, if they did. So maybe yeah, that would have been dangerous. But I was thinking like they go in there, they free Holden up, and then they do the oxygen explosion whatever plan, and Holden is no longer in the room, or some clever thinking, he frees himself and tosses himself into space, and the explosion doesn't do anything to him. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So yeah, after we disintegrate it, we're done with that. But then Holden and Naomi do have this talk at the end of the episode, and well, they all have like a little talk. Holden is just like his leg is all fucked up, and Alex pats it, and he's like and Alex is like, I'm sorry, and then Amos walks away, and he also pats it. It's like he did that on purpose. Alex, I know he did it accidentally. Amos, I'm pretty sure he did that on purpose. But anyway, so they have this moment where Holden is essentially like Holden is back. Like that dark Holden moment that we had a little bit, like that's done. He's back to normal, back to lawful good-ish Holden. So we have that Holden back, hopefully. And I like that he was like, thank you for saving me, and then Alex is like, listen, it wasn't us, it was fucking Prax over here. This fucking guy, our plan guy, he's the man. And Holden is like, thank you. And I like that Prax was like, I'm glad you didn't die. Because like Prax is such a nice guy that I'm like, yeah, I believe it. Despite everything that happened previous episode, Prax is not someone that would wish ill will on someone else. And I'm glad that Holden is able to appreciate that. And like realize that he was the one being an asshole previous episode, and that was brought up to some degree. So I'm glad that Holden is a character that has ups and downs. That's what they're doing with him, and I think you can tell as the audience, and I think that's pretty good. And I'm glad that they acknowledge it. So anyway, then he does have this conversation with Naomi, where Naomi essentially comes clean on the fact that she didn't destroy the sample of the pearl molecule like those episodes ago. It was a long time ago, and she she never told anyone about it, and now she is. She's like, I have to tell you something. We said we wouldn't be keeping secrets to each other anymore. I've been keeping one, so I'm just gonna tell you. So that sample, remember that sample that you thought I destroyed, even though I never really said I did, but I think I did. Maybe I lied about it. I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't destroy it. So it's out there. It was floating out there, and also, and this is the reveal, is that while I was there in the Somnambulist, I realized that I could have died there. So I did some shit. And that shit that I did is that she gives this whole speech of like, war is always there, right? War is just like, not war, but like conflict. Conflict is always there. For Earth, for Mars, for the belts. It always has been a part of who we are. We always, like, belters always get the short end of the stick. They always get shafted. Earth and Mars were always at each other's throats. And it's just like, yes, things are escalating now, but at the same time, like, Earth has control of the pro molecule. Mars has control of the pro molecule. Everyone has the pro molecule, but the belts. So, the only thing we should probably do is to give the belts a pro molecule too. Because it's no fair game if those two guys have it, and this guy over here who always gets the short end of the stick, if they don't have it. So, I'm just gonna give it to them as well. And Naomi did that. And like, here's the thing, is that Naomi always has been a belter. Like, she always does have that belter attitude to her, and the things that she does and the way she thinks. So this is not really a surprise. I'm just like, yeah, that makes complete sense. So that's the end goal for you having left that proto molecule there. So it didn't really come back to bite us in the ass, which is what my original assumption would have been. Is like, no, this is gonna be a device for we are gonna advance the plot to some degree, because now the belts can actually fight, I guess. Because like, here's the thing, and this is fucked, and it's the fact that proto-molecule weapons are juiced up humans. Like, that's what they are. Like, I don't think we've seen a proto-molecule weapon that is just a weapon and not like a hybrid biological being that was turned from a human even. Because like, okay, so we haven't seen that much of the proto-molecule, but the way the proto-molecule looks is that it can convert a lot of things. It can enhance a lot of things, but more than anything, it wants like people. But like, what I want to know is if you can use the proto molecule for a weapon, like a proto nuke. Can you make a proto nuke? Like, is that energy able to be used as a nuke and not just a conversion device? Because if not, then what we're implying for the future of this show is that we're just gonna have an all-out 3-way war where every side has proto-molecule super soldiers. That's pretty bad. Because like, the thing is that they're not even super soldiers. They are children that they throw as live subjects where they have no idea what the fuck is happening, and they just turn them into monster, like Frankenstein monsters. That's a bad thing to do. And the implication that we're gonna have a future war where every side does that, not necessarily always children, but there's a reason why they use children, so I'm assuming that they are the best soldiers you can get. So that's a bad. I don't like that. And that might be what we're doing. That might be what the proto molecule is gonna be. So yeah, season 3 is setting up some interesting things for what might happen in it. we might have a three-way solar system war. I almost said intergalactic, and I kind of want to say it, but I said it once, and some people got upset because it's like, it's not the actual galaxy, you dumbass. It's just this system, and I'm like, I don't care. I legitimately don't care. It's just a word, man. But yeah, it might just be a war from every side, and every side is just gonna throw child soldiers that have stripped from their humanity at each other. Well, here's the thing: is that I don't necessarily think that's exactly what's gonna happen, because I'm expecting the Brown molecule to develop to a further stage, to a further phase, because that Caliban was a phase 4 protomolecule. We might get a phase 5 or a phase 6, and here's the thing, is that Caliban was smart to a degree, but I still feel like it didn't have it wasn't like human like level of like intelligence. I'm pretty sure it was still like animalistic to some degree, because it's like it chased the energy source, and whenever there was no energy source, it was just like, oh, what, and then it's like, I guess that guy is gonna kill him, and then energy source came back, and it's like, all right, back to that, and then energy source turned off, and there was a new energy source, and it was like, oh, ball, I'm gonna go get ball, and then he did. It's like, I think it is animalistic to a degree, regardless of what Prax said, because like, even if I think like, that sounds like the writer is telling me it has intelligence, but I'm like, I'm not sure how much intelligence it has. I'm pretty sure it's below human still, and humans are animals, so it is animalistic. Like, it is animalistic below us, so that's what I'm assuming. But anyway, maybe like if they are able to turn people into Calibans without sacrificing like the human brain, then that's where I'm expecting this to develop eventually, right? And it may get really bad. It's probably gonna get really bad, because like, human intelligence, but now you're just a better enhanced version of yourself. Because like the Caliban, it is like an enhanced version of a human, isn't it? It's just much more capable, and it has super regeneration. It's just like, yeah, if you can have that without trading off human brain, then that's a problem. And if that's what war is going to escalate into, which I'm assuming it will, like, I'm not sure which side, but some side is going to be able to come up with that at some point. Yeah, that's an interesting turn. It's an interesting direction the show is taking, because like the show has gone places. It really has. Like, the Proto Molecule became a thing at the end of season 1, and then through the entirety of season 2 is like all eras and all this crazy shit. We're going to try to figure out what the Proto Molecule is, and then season 3 is just going to be like, all right, just war, just straight up war, but every side has Proto Molecule super soldiers. Okay, that's a jump, sure. But they have established everything in order to make that happen already. It might not happen. It might be season 4. It could never happen. Because here's the other thing that I keep thinking about, and it's time to bring it up. And it's, what the fuck is happening at Venus? Because like, Venus, since Eros, which was like episode 6. So since episode 6, for like the majority of the season, I've been wondering. Well, not wondering, because I immediately said it. I was like, Venus is just gonna be protomolecule planet now. That's just what it's gonna be. So it is, and we've seen that like 2 episodes ago. It was just a planet and it just had a bunch of blue shit in it. But now, so the what is the name of this fucking ship? It doesn't matter. The ship blew up. It didn't blow up. It got pulled apart. But like, Expanse. I wrote something down at some point. It said the Arvagas. I think it's the Arvagas. So the Arvagas, the ship with the researcher dude and the other military dude that didn't get along, and then they got along this episode. So I'm like, yeah, they're gonna die. That ship So they decided we're gonna go in there. We're gonna go into Venus and see what the fuck is happening because we don't have more pros and we need to see what the fuck is going down there. They do that, and then so the Martians go first, actually. So well, they go first, and then the Martians take the lead. Because they were faster, I guess. So the Martians, and then as they were falling, they're like, we lost signal of the Martians. What the fuck happened to them? They just disappear. And then they get suspended. Like, the ship was falling, and then it wasn't. It just got, like, suspended. So, like, they didn't land, they didn't anything, they just got suspended. And then we saw them get suspended. They were just floating there. The lights got brighter, and they were all like, what the fuck is happening? And then a bunch of, like, light blue lights started just floating around, like we saw in Arrows. And then I'm like, oh, you're gone. You're done. You're Arrows now, too. You're part of it. And then we saw the ship pull apart. Like, it's not that it was destroyed. Like, I actually want to take a look at that more clearly. Because that is a fucking shot. It's not that it broke. No, it didn't. It's not that the ship broke. Yeah. So, it's not that the Arbogas broke. It's that it every single part of because a ship is just an ensemble of a bunch of parts, because that's a construction. That's how a construction works. It's just an ensemble of a bunch of parts. Every part got separated. Like, it got pulled apart, but it didn't get destroyed. Like, it didn't got physically destroyed, like an explosion or something ripping it apart. It's like, no. Every single piece of the ship got pulled apart from the other. It just got disassembled. That's what it did. The ship got disassembled. And the people didn't get disassembled, which was a weird thing to me. I was waiting for them to also be disassembled, but I guess the proton molecule wants them together in order for better conversion or something. But, like, what the actual fuck is going on in Venus? I mean, I know it's proton molecule planet, but I want to know what the fuck that was about. And what that means. And I'm not sure if that means anything. That might just be like, oh, you're done, you're fucked. That just might be what that was. But it might, like, repurpose those people. It might repurpose the Arbogast, that ship. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck that was about. It just looked cool. It just looked cool and impressive. But other than that, I don't know what to say. I just need to point out exactly what that looked like and how cool it was. But, like, those two are fucked. But, like, okay, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Okay, let's focus on that. So, proton molecule is being purposed by Jupiter Mao and the Martian and, like, Dr. Strickland and all that shit. They're making, like, Calibans. Martian is making Calibans. Jupiter Mao might be making some bullshit, too. In fact, Jupiter Mao might be the person who came up with the Calibans. Martian's just repurposing them. Yeah, because Ehrenreich did have information on the Caliban. So yeah. Mars didn't come up with the Caliban. It was Jupiter Mao, and Ehrenreich could have had access to it as well. Yeah, so Ehrenreich just has access to the Caliban now, as well as Mars. So yeah, both of them just have it. But, like, what I'm thinking about is that, like, Calibans are bad, but that's because they have been purposed by Earth and by Mars in order to be like super soldiers, right? What I'm wondering now is that would Venus be a threat or a good thing? Okay? Because Venus is like a natural event at this point. Like, whatever's happening in Venus was not intended, because Eros wasn't intended. Like, yeah, Jupiter Mao did give, like, the signal to do it, but then Eros just decided, I'm just gonna crash into Earth. Was not planned. And then when we managed to, Miller went in there and managed to convince Jupiter Mao to just stop and, like, diverge and go into Venus. That was also not planned. So the Eros protomolecule on Venus was not planned. So that is essentially like a natural event. It almost is like a natural event. It had some like oh yeah, like Jupiter Mao did have a it did have a part on it getting it to Eros and all that happening, but the entire sequence of events is not necessarily something that he wanted. It's in fact not, and it's not something that was planned by anyone. So that is just like all this shit happened. Now nobody has any control over Venus, and they were all just observing it and being like, "Oh, what's happening here?" But nobody actually has any control or power over Venus. So whatever happens in Venus is not Earth, is not Mars, is not Belt. Which means that because like we are repurposing child soldiers to create super soldiers for war purposes. That's bad. Will the proto-molecule in Venus, whatever is happening there, be a bad thing or be a good thing? That's what I'm wondering. Because it could be a story in which it is a bad thing, and it's coming to get us, and it's just gonna destroy everything. Somehow. Well, I'm assuming it's gonna consume everything. It's just gonna convert everything. Will Earth and Mars actually, like, and the Belts, try and team up to stop it? I don't know if they would. Legitimately. I don't know if they legitimately would. Would they try to, like, use it? I mean, they're already using it, right? Or would Venus be something that we can actually, like, look at and be like, that could be a good thing? Because here's the other thing, is that, and this is something I said, is that Miller, Julie Mao, they could still very much be alive in some way. Not physically living as humans, but Julie Mao wasn't already human anymore. Like, she was already just pro-molecule up, all the fuck way up. Miller could also be a part of it now. And their consciousness might still be around in some way, shape, or form. Like, that could be a thing. So, what I'm wondering is if that might come into play as a good factor, as a beneficial factor for our quote-unquote heroes. You know, the Rosie crew, maybe Christian, Gunny, and Cotillard, who I haven't talked about them at all this episode, and I should. So, yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with Venus. I want to know where that goes. Because right now, that's like that's a wild card. Nobody has any control over that. They tried to understand it, and they got fucked trying to do so. So, it could be whatever. Venus could legitimately be whatever now. So, yeah, I need to point that out, and I need to know where the fuck that goes now. Season 3 is like setting itself up to like be interesting, very, very interesting, because I'm like, where do we go from here? I mean, I can see where could we go from here, but the place we're going is very interesting because it seems like we're just going war. It seems like we're going like alien war shit now. All right. So, Christian, Cotillard, and Gunny. So they immediately from last episode, they were like pointing guns at the guards, just like, all right, what do we do? They just started blasting. Anyway, started blasting. They start shooting at each other. Gunny kicks down like a table, and I'm surprised that table was as sturdy as it was, and they used that as a cover. While Cotillard was just sitting at them. Cotillard got shot. First shot, it got him. And he just got shot in like the gut. So he was just bleeding the fuck out. At one moment, they were like, all right, so Gunny, we actually have your suit. We actually did bring your suit here. And if you can go and try and get that suit and come back and save us, it would be great. So we're going to do this. You're going to run to that vent. And I'm going to provide cover fire, and you go and do that. So they did that. Okay, she got away. She actually took out a couple guards in the process, and then she met like one random guy that was just like holding a button of like, hey, if I let go of this button, then you're not getting in there, and then she's like, well, if you go let go of that button, then I'm just gonna beat you to death. So is it worth it to keep holding that button? And then the dude was like, all right, I'm gonna let you in. Can you beat me up a little bit? Just so it looks like I put up a fight, so they don't actually execute me because I let you in there. And all right, so that was kind of funny. So Christian and Cotillard, they're trying to like, what do we do? Like they're trying to talk their way into buying time or getting it out of it, and so eventually the conversation goes down the route of like the important people like Madame Abbasarala here, and like Drew Primao, like they matter, we don't, and like we don't want to get fucking bodied here, like die fighting for some dumb bullshit. So, okay, let's make it easy. Like we don't have anything against you. You can just give us Abbasarala, and we're just gonna let you go, and you're fine. Like just give us her. So that whole sequence was like, okay, what do we do? And it did came down to like, there's this moment where Christian is like, listen, if you're gonna sell me out, go and stop Aaron Wright. Like, actually do try and stop Aaron Wright, because we know that that fucker is just gonna do some fucked up bullshit now. So at least go and try and stop him. And she's like, you owe me that, at least. And then Cotillard is like, I don't owe you anything. And then she's like, my son. And he's like, yeah, your son. I don't owe you shit. I owe him taking care of his mother because I gave you bad information that one time. So like, I like that because it's like, he doesn't necessarily feel like he owes her anything. He feels like he owes the son something, and he takes care of Christian because of that. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. So, all right, that's an interesting outlook, because it's like he cares, but he doesn't care because of her. He cares because of the memory of the dude. So maybe they knew each other. Like, I don't know. Maybe there was something going on there. We'll see. Maybe that will get developed later on. But yeah. But that whole thing goes down, and eventually they go like, all right, so they just come out, just like, all right, don't shoot, just fucking, let's see what we do here. And then they get the call from Drew Barrymore going like, all right, we don't need them, clean them up. So then it's like, all right, we're just gonna have to kill you then because the boss said so. And then Gunny just walks in there and just fucking bodies everyone because she has her power armor. Because, like, the power armors are cool because they're the closest thing to mechs we have in the show. And, like, earlier today, I got, like, tagged on Twitter. Like, some Expanse fan page was like, hey, this guy talks about Gundam sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I do sometimes. And, like, that made me realize that the one thing that the Expanse needs to be, like, amazing is mechs. It just needs mechs. I want mech fights. And I understand that mechs are not realistic, but I don't give a shit. I want mechs. Just give me people fighting in mechs now. And at least I guess we have power armors, which is the closest thing we're gonna get to a mech. And they're good enough. Like, I actually do like power armors. But, like, I just want mechs, man. Just give me mechs in season 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. Just give me mechs eventually. Like, that would be my favorite thing ever. Like, it really would be. Because I understand that the Expanse is trying to be, like, somewhat realistic, and some people have, like, pointed that out to me, and I'm like, eventually I'm just like, I stop listening, because the moment we start introducing some alien bullshit, it's like, the rules are off the table, we don't give a shit anymore, right? I stand by that parasite theory I made, like, 3 episodes ago. I think that was pretty good. And if you had played Metal Gear Solid 5, you would know that that's pretty good. But anyway, I want mechs. That's it. I just want the creator of this show, the writer, to just be like, you know what would be really cool? Mechs. And just do that. I like whenever someone who's creating something just decides, you know what? I'm gonna do this just because it's fucking cool. I just want to do a cool thing. Doesn't necessarily have to make the most amount of sense. It's just cool. That's my favorite thing whenever we do that. So, and I know for a fact that the creators of the show are a bunch of nerds. I know for a fact. Like, the Rose is just one big Rush reference. Like everything was a tabletop RPG thing from the beginning. It's like, yeah, they're just a bunch of nerds. They're just coming up with some dumb bullshit. They do take it serious. It's don't mean that they don't. But whenever I can see that the creator is actually just like coming up with dumb bullshit and just having fun, I'm like, yeah, now I'm enjoying it way more actually because I can see that. But anyway, that's how I feel about the show so far. But okay, I got super sidetracked into mechs. Man, Gundam was really good. Watch Gundam 00. I guess you could watch OG. I never watched OG though, but I heard it's really good. OG and Seta. But the ones that I watch, I would recommend 00 the most. And I think it's a good starting point too. So watch Gundam 00. Anyway. Yeah, Cotillard, Christian, Gunny, they all get out, I assume. We don't really get to see that. We just get to see her saving them. So that's going to be interesting. Where do we go from here? So they could actually go to Fred Johnson, like I said at the very beginning. They could go to Fred Johnson, which would be interesting because Fred Johnson now has a pro molecule. Bam. So, yeah, that Fred Johnson's going to become a player next season too. He was already kind of a player, but then we kind of forgot about him. No, now we're going back to him probably. Because the thing is that Fred Johnson said, like, okay, you're not stepping on Taiko. That's the name of the station. You're not stepping on Taiko because you're not going to help us. And then now we help them, so now I assume we're welcome in Taiko again? Sure. So maybe we'll go to Taiko. Maybe that's going to become the base of operations, but we don't really like Taiko because we don't really like what Fred Johnson is doing. I don't know. We'll see what we do. Anyway, where is Christian gonna go with Gunny and Cotillard? Maybe they'll lay low, maybe they'll hide somewhere. But like they have, like Christian needs to be completely hidden because everybody knows her face. She's the face of the campaign against the belts, essentially. She just says a bunch of racist ass shit on TV, live TV for everyone to see. Everyone hates her. Because that's the character she plays. So now it's like, where is she gonna go? What are they gonna do with that? I'm very intrigued to see where we go here. Like, I'm excited for the first episode next season specifically because I want to know, with all the things that were laid out and this event happening, where do we go from here? Like, I'm excited for that. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the fuck happens with Aaron Wright and Earth. It's gonna be bad, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Rosie. Now they're closer to each other, I assume. But now the secret of Naomi's sample, and now that Fred Johnson has it, is out in the air. Now we know that. I want to see what the fuck happens with the Bina shit. We might not actually get answers to Binas for like another like 6 episodes or some shit. Like that could be the case. That would be bad. I want answers right now, but it could. We could not. We'll see. I want to see where Christian, Cotillard, and Gunny go. Because this is a very interesting party now. Cotillard might die. He could actually die, but I don't think he will because he survived this encounter. He didn't sacrifice himself, so he might. I'm thinking he will survive. Yeah, I want to see what the fuck now. And yeah, at the end we see May being put into this cryogenic pod or whatever, and just Dr. Strickland just walks away, and that's it. So that's a setup for next season. So yeah, I'm excited to start next season next week then. I want to know where we go here. I want to see what do we do with all this information laid out now. But yeah, I think that was a pretty solid discussion. I think we can close it off here. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. I just skimmed through the entire episode. I think we're good. I think we're golden. So yeah, that was season 2 of The Expanse. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it more than the first one because the first one was like 7 episodes of like build up. Of like setting up the world, setting up the characters, and just like, that's more or less where we're going. And then everything fucking went to shit at the end. And that was really good. Episode 8 was awesome. 9 was okay. Well, I don't actually remember every single episode in that season, exactly what happened in each of them. But like, those final like 3, 4, whatever episodes were awesome, right? This season, we had several moments where shit went down. Like halfway through the season, we had a season finale. Because I believe this season it's like it has the end of the first novel and the entirety of the second. I'm actually not sure, and I don't want to look this up, but I think it did cover the end of the first book, which is Leviathan Wakes, and that was the Eris station event at the end of this, halfway through the season. And then this second half of the season, I'm not sure if this is an entire novel or if it's just half of the second. I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm not sure how they're adapting these, but there were a lot more of events going on, and that's something I enjoyed way more. But yeah, season good, episode good. Let's see what awaits us in season 3, and we're halfway through the show, by the way. Like, it's only 4 seasons long right now. People have said, like, maybe there's gonna be a season 5 by the time I'm caught up. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, show good, man. We'll see where this goes at. Thank you for being here. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this reaction episode to The Expanse. If you would like to see next one, it should already be up on Patreon as well as full length. Check out the links in the description, and I'll see you next time, okay? Take care.